So are we set to go?
All right, yeah, so let's just do question 1.
Okay. So
we are
question
officially
1.
recording.
Okay, so question 1 says, what is social work and what does social work do?
Okay, so we talked about, so I don't know, just as I don't know if anyone else knew that you could do environmental social work. That was new to me.
That was new to me too. I took a lot of notes on that. So
I did too, because I was excited. So I was like, oh, that's awesome. So honestly, when people ask me what social work is, I'm like, anything. I help anyone with anything is what I tell people.
Yeah, and that's what I think is the common, what people think is usually cultural safety and social justice is what people usually think social work is.
Right.
So for me to see environment or indigenous perspectives, principle and practices, it was really surprising for me because I didn't actually know that there was a specific part of social work that was dedicated to that side,
Yeah, and when I was thinking about that too, I was like, well, I guess it makes sense if global warming is happening, then I could work for a company to help people who can't afford it to have a better life and stuff like that. So it made sense to me.
Yeah, and absolutely because of the I think because of the effect of global warming and our carbon footprint, a lot of the poor are also really affected by it. So in a sense, it is affecting our social well-being as well as the environmental well-being.
Yeah, especially if you think about people who live out in the I don't know, on a farm or something, and they're just living by their means. I can see how it would help them with the environment.
Exactly. But yeah, overall, I think what social work is it has the common goal of making individual and social change. That's what I have in my notes of what social work is and what it does.
Right.
And that's a great definition. I think, advocating for social justice is another key aspect of what social work is. Since there's so many social injustices in the world, so many people are living are oppressed and living in poverty. So I think that's a big function of social work as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think that kind of answers how it works also.
Right. Okay. Do you guys want to move on to question 2?
Yes.
Okay. So question 2 says, what are social work issues?
Okay.
I mean, besides the common abuse, child neglect, stuff like that.
Homelessness.
Helping with poverty.
Yeah. I wrote just the 5 that we mentioned above. There's just so many, and it's not, social work isn't directed for one thing. It's wherever you find people. I think that's also where you find social work. But I think mostly it's just people, anybody who's in need needs a social worker.
Yeah.
But yeah, poverty is definitely one. Child abuse. Even at school, school counselors, those are issues like bullying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
That's all I can think of.
I think social work can help every individual, no matter who they are, no matter what their background is. Social workers address pretty much every social issue that human beings struggle with or face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, it's so broad. Social work is so broad that there's really, anywhere that there's a social or environmental issue, I feel like social workers always have a place to work out whatever issue, to try to combat different issues that we're facing.
Yeah, and I think it's cool too that you think of human resources for large companies are also social workers. Just if you didn't do their whole human resources, it's a social worker, which I think is cool too.
I definitely agree with you guys. Yeah.
So number 3, what do we mean when we say creative, expressive modalities or approaches?
So immediately I think of the blog post. I don't know if you guys have done the discussion yet, but the blog post for like Klein. It's just like non-traditional ways of, you know, everybody's going to be so unique, and I think it's important that everybody, it's not like a mold, you know, everybody has their own creative way of trying to deal with these problems and issues, and I think it's a very new way of trying to combat these social issues that were never thought of before. And like the blog post said, it's like cooking, writing, painting, playing a musical instrument. Like there's so many ways. It's not just drawing or painting, you know?
Yeah. And I like to work with any age group, because when I was reading it, I was honestly thinking of just working with like kids, but they the person who wrote it said like they work mostly with adults, so I thought that was pretty interesting as well.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, like that it could work with anybody.
When I was thinking about what does it mean to employ creative expressive modalities and approaches, I was thinking really kind of anything that's outside the box, you know, outside of the, you know, you go to a therapist and you sit down and you just talk, or you, and obviously the first thing that comes to mind is like art therapy, and things like that, like animal therapy, stuff like that.
Right. I never thought of that. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different types that even the blog post hasn't, like, I never thought of animal therapy. And I also didn't think of how it's almost universal in the fact that it fits any age group. Like Jenna said, I never realized that it wasn't, you know, it helps everybody at any age group. And it's just a matter of kind of getting over your fear of thinking that it's childish to want to, you know, be creative and expressive of what your issues are. So,
yeah.
Okay, number 4 says, what are you leaning toward writing about in your change part 1, like your paper?
So for me, I'm kind of take the opportunity to explore something that I've been wanting to really like see if I'm interested in. So when I originally applied for being in the social work program, I thought about working in human trafficking, but I wanted to work like in a different aspect of it, where I just did a lot of I get like what you call crisis intervention. So for change part 1 is what I was gonna start researching and start writing about, like human trafficking, but like in a crisis intervention way.
I think that's really cool. I think that's very like unique. I think that's a great topic to cover. Yeah.
Thanks. I guess I'm just scared of like not finding enough research, but we'll see.
I mean, there's like, use the library database, type it in, and I'm sure you'd find a lot, because I think it's a really common, like, it's a huge issue. So I think you should be okay.
Yeah, and I think the awareness is becoming a lot more popular, so I think there might be more. I'm just afraid that I won't find a lot for like crisis intervention, instead of they'll like try and find like rehabilitation methods, and I don't know. We'll just see how it goes.
I was kind of thinking, can you guys hear, is the noise in my background too loud?
I can hear you.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I was kind of thinking of doing something around fundraising, or like funds for nonprofits or any organization trying to help, and the issues around not having that to help, because I know there are a lot of ideas out there, especially around helping youth, but a lot of them people can't follow through with because they don't have the funds to follow through, or they don't know how to ask for the funds or keep up with funds and manage them. So I was kind of aimed toward something around that, but I'm interested in grant writing, so I kind of know where to look for that, but I'm not sure how to put that into a research type perspective.
Yeah. I think that's a cool aspect. Yeah, I think just finding research is the scariest part.
So I want to explore. I work in corrections, and I really enjoy working with females. So I wanted to explore for my population, pregnant females, and how to employ a creative intervention with pregnant moms who are incarcerated. I don't know what the modality looks like, though. I have no idea. I haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah.
It's good that you have a specific group in mind. It's not too general, so I think that'll be helpful in your research, kind of being specific that you want to help pregnant women. It'll definitely help you find exactly what you're looking for in your research too. So
yeah, unfortunately, when in corrections, you're very kind of limited in what they can do. So it's going to be interesting to see what I find.
Yeah.
Well, my topic that I chose, I mentioned in my discussion post, is since I'm going into healthcare management with a minor in social work, I'm really passionate about healthcare. So what I wanted to research was how language barriers affect the care that people are receiving. And I think that's, pretty much as relevant to social work as it is in healthcare. And I just really want to figure out creative ways or more ways on how I can combat this social issue, because I think it's something that's so preventable, and it's really sad that it's occurring everywhere. And it's out of personal experience, and I'm just so passionate about it. And I feel like I won't have too much trouble finding research just because it's such a common issue, I think.
I think that's great. I mean, it sounds like with the passion piece, that's going to really help with the paper too. So I think that's great.
Yeah, thank you.
And that is a really great topic, because the reason I say this, I used to work in healthcare, and we served a wide population of people. And yeah, it was when people came in and didn't speak English as their first language, it was a struggle. And no one at the clinic spoke any other language than English, so it was tough.
I know, but it's super frustrating, because it's like technically everybody has a right to have a translator and have it in their native language. So technically, when you're providing care to somebody and you notice that they're kind of not understanding what you're saying, or you have even a little bit of doubt, you're required by law to have a translator there. And I know that for a fact. So that's why I'm just, it's something that I'm, like I said, really passionate about, and I'm really excited to do my research on this. But everybody has really good topics. I'm really excited to hear what you guys have done. So.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything anyone else wants to add, since that's our 4 questions?
No. Do you know if we are like in the same group every time?
I don't know.
Okay. We'll find out.
We will.
Okay, well, I think that's it from me. I don't have anything else to add.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I have.
No, I feel satisfied as well.
Okay, well, good luck to everybody on
All
their
right.
first assignment.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.